the NFF does such a great job throughout the year with different events and things to celebrate these people. And you two have been selected to speak on behalf of this entire class here. We appreciate you taking the time. My first question, as we've noted a number of times now, less than 1% of anyone who is involved in this game makes it into the College Football Hall of Fame. Coach Saban, can you articulate what that means to you to be part of that group?
Well, this is a great honor. I think anytime, whatever the profession you're in, you get recognized as being someone who was able to earn the recognition and have the legacy of being honored by their peers is something that I think is very, very special and I'm very proud of. But besides all the wins, you know, the most important thing to us was always how do we create value for players? How do we help them be more successful in life because they were involved in the program, the kind of people they were able to develop to be, the kind of students they were, the kind of career they developed off the field, and how we could develop them to help them have success as a football player. So I think this group of guys up here tonight reflects that very well.
Coach Meyer, if you could just piggyback off of that, because I think Coach Saban brought up something very important. The wins, obviously, vital, because that's part of why you're here. But when did you start to recognize the wins, yes, but everything else that went along with it in being a coach?
Well, I'm very humbled by the mentors that I had growing up. You know, we're all a reflection of people that have come into our path, you know, and into our journey. And I grew up in the Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler era. You know, I worked for a guy named Merle Bruce and Sonny Lubick and Bob Davey. And so when I look at these young coaches coming up, and I tried to mentor them the same way that I was mentored, where, yes, the wins are extremely important, but the era that I came from, it was all about academics. It was all about life after the sport, and so we took that very serious my entire career, and we had a nice little gathering last night, and it's as good a feeling as you can have when you start seeing some of the former players come back and being grateful for, it wasn't always easy. As a matter of fact, it was really hard. But that's what life is. It can be real hard sometimes, and that's the beauty of our sport. It teaches you how to fight through adversity. So, very humbled.
I'm going to take it right back at you, if that's okay, since you can, I know you can handle adversity. This is a piece of cake for you. But you talk about the hard. You talked about going through the journey. You talked about all of those things. The effect of everything that you did on your life and where you are right now. Can you speak to that for us, please?
Yeah, I think I speak on behalf of many coaches. There's certainly many of my friends that, you know, I had very fortunate. 3 of my children all played Division I-A sports, you know, 2 volleyball players and a football player. And one of the greatest articles, and Nikki's sitting right over there, she played volleyball at Georgia Tech. And it actually broke me down when I read it. Because you move your family over and over and again, and you sometimes start worrying about, am I doing the right thing as a father? And she said, I learned more on the volleyball court than I ever learned in any classroom. And what did she learn? I think every player should play some kind of team sport. What's it teach you? It teaches selflessness. It teaches you respect of your teammates, regardless of your background or where you're from. It teaches you hard work, and it teaches you to do your job, because you know what? Your teammates are counting on you. So it's one of the greatest experiences I had to be around the country and coaching, but even better when you see your 3 children learn from the experiences they had living in different parts of the country.
Coach Saban, as we wrap things up here, my understanding is that you were supposed to be a car salesman, have your own dealership and do all those things. And Miss Terry had another year left in school, and your coach came to you and said, why don't you just do this coaching thing for a while? How did it grab you to lead you to where you are here today? Apparently the game wasn't done with you yet.
Yeah, well, Coach Don James was my college coach, and he had a great impact and influence on me and my life. And I had just graduated. My wife, Miss Terry, had another year of school. He called me and said, I want you to be a GA. And I said, Coach James, no disrespect, but why would I be a GA? I don't want to go to graduate school, and I don't want to be a coach. And he said, well, you can't leave town because your wife's got another year of school, so why don't you just try it for 1 year? So 50 years later, I got a car dealership, so I'm proud of that. But, you know, the one thing I wanted to say to all these guys, you know, here tonight that are being honored is these guys are great competitors. And there's nothing that I respect more than someone who is a great competitor. You know, my daughter's here tonight, and when she was in high school and a guy'd come knocking on the door to take her out, I answered the door and I would say, "What do you play?" Guy'd take off running. But I wanted to know if that guy could compete. Because, you know, great competitors have a great ability to be great teammates, respect and trust the principles and values of what it takes to be successful. They're positive in how they go about their work and how they affect their teammates. They're responsible for their own self-determination because they have the discipline to make the kind of choices and decisions that people have to make to be successful. And the passion and hard work and perseverance and ability to overcome adversity and pride and performance that they have is what got them on this stage. And I want to personally congratulate every one of these guys that are up here tonight, because if you come knocking on my door, I know you're a damn good competitor, and I appreciate that more than you know. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 2025 College Football Hall of Fame class, Coach Urban Meyer, Coach Nick Saban, and the rest of the Hall of Fame class.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.